Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a drill. Get ready to hear some unsafe words.
Here we are.
Second.
Episode number 2.
The Unfunny Network has been very kind to us.
Yes. Amazing. Nolan on the keys.
Nolan on the keys.
Yo, what up?
Yo.
Yes. We got rid of Mike. We didn't like him. We fired him after the first episode.
We're like, you were too much fun. And now we
We're like, you guys have anybody other than Mike?
Yeah, I'm the worst, so this should be better.
Speaking of the worst, Adam, you're here, and
Yes.
we're going to talk about something that you brought up right before.
Yes.
You guys, you've been so nice
Yes.
and enjoying the episode up on YouTube. Adam brought up, hey man, why is it taking so fucking long for you to put it on audio? And I'm about to tell you right now, you don't know what you're fucking talking about because it's so much more complicated than you think it is.
Yeah.
I have to get this thing that distributes it, and that costs money, and I have to figure out how that works. Don't shake your...
I
You don't even
understand.
have a Facebook or a Twitter.
It should already be allowed
You-
to be
you-
bought.
You have a typewriter. That's how you type all your things.
All I know is that people can't listen to it yet.
They can if they go on YouTube.
Right. But a
And-
lot of people, like to take their dogs on a walk and listen to a podcast.
Right.
And right now we're making them go to YouTube, which is great.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that you're slacking.
Right. Okay. Well, we're going to fist fight afterwards, but it will be out soon. I'm getting all that stuff figured out
Because
on my
definitely
own
not.
with no help from you, even a little bit.
Not even at all. It will never
I'm amazed you know how Instagram works,
It will
really.
never happen. What did I do for the podcast? I wore this shirt because I thought this will get people's attention when they go
Yeah.
on YouTube because they can't listen to it.
You look like every cop undercover at the beach.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
When Nolan pulled up our picture on the thing, I was like, "Ooh, I look like I really sell drugs at Venice Beach."
Yeah.
And then you look like a dad,
Yeah. I do look like a parent.
a dad at the PTA meeting who's a little
Yeah.
cold.
Who's a little
Yeah, it's just a little bit cold.
who's afraid to open up.
Yeah.
I haven't said anything yet.
A little cold. But it was great. I had a lot of fun. Which
It was
is why
the
we're back.
coolest.
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
It was super cool. A lot of great feedback.
You're the dad at the PTA meeting that goes, are there snacks?
It's definitely Noah. That is definitely Noah.
Sorry to interrupt.
No, that was
you're-
definitely Noah
Damn.
for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are there snacks around here?
Yeah. Like a
No?
granola bar.
Got low blood sugar, so if we
Yeah,
could...
if we could just keep going. And pick Jimmy up from soccer at SAG.
Oh man.
Jeez.
It was people have been really nice and we got a lot of great feedback.
Yeah.
Um,
They were like, I know. I don't know. Do you wear a back brace or something carrying that podcast?
the whole
The whole thing?
The whole load of everything.
The whole load of everything.
Adam, you look wasted.
Did someone tell you that?
Everybody told me that. You told me that when I got here. I was drinking a nice coffee, and you're like, "Are you drinking beer?"
Yeah.
And I was like, "No." And you're like, "Oh, it's just because of the whole outfit and the hair. It just looks like you're always drunk."
Yeah. Yeah. You look like you have a substance either in your car or on your person at all times.
We did get drunk after the podcast last time.
We did. We got very drunk.
We went to Katsuya,
Yeah.
which is really douchey, but I like that we went there.
It's a great
And
place.
It was really good, and
Yeah.
I had actually never been there.
It's amazing.
And it was so fire. It
Mm-hmm.
was so good, but we got drunk.
Yes, we did. Sake's dangerous.
It is so dangerous.
It tastes like, you say it,
It looks like cum.
right, but it tastes like hotter cum.
Yes.
It looks like cum, and it looks like if you put that in the microwave. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
But ooh, great.
It was so great. It was delicious.
Shout out to them.
Shout out to them for being the
Awesome.
best. Yeah. It was super cool. It's so fun, like, hearing people say how much they enjoyed watching it because they're like, we enjoyed doing it, so it's cool that people vibed with it.
I think one thing that we didn't discuss much, and I think it kind of got, just sort of washed over as we were talking, is like we both are comics, but we're also both actors.
Yeah, we didn't really introduce it. We just kind of went right in.
It, and we both are actors,
Mhm.
and we actually both moved here to be actors, and then
Yeah.
be being comics has sort of also just come about because we're both I think we both like comedy.
Yeah.
And we've sort of fallen into that whole world
Mhm.
as another thing. But we both are actors, and we both are.
Yeah.
I'm just 100 years old.
Yeah, so you're really part of that, the old spaghetti westerns and things like that. I just saw
Silent films.
Yeah,
and
I just saw the new Quentin Tarantino movie, and I was like, and you're in it.
Nice.
Someone plays you in that. I don't know if you got royalties from that, but somebody plays you in that. They're like,
Yeah.
look, he's on his way
yeah,
out.
Yeah, that's me.
And me, I'm just a trailblazing spearhead of
I
the.
think Nolan just burped so loud he tried to fucking put it down. We walked in here, dude had like half a bowl of Chipotle left still. It smelled like a hot box of Chipotle in this room, and then we just watched him mow it down, and then he just ripped a burp so
A
loud.
hot box of Chipotle is the best thing I've ever heard, and that's exactly. You walk in and you're like, "Sir, roll the window down."
Yeah.
So
Sorry, dude.
funny.
It was awesome.
Oh,
and then he
no.
tried to protect it by pulling back. He's like, I was like, we all heard that.
We
dude.
It's a small room.
Yeah,
We all heard that.
you're a foot and a half away from us. That was no
I'm
hiding
glad
that.
this is what our podcast is about, though, because
Yeah.
it's all about being disgusting. So it's
Yeah.
great. Imagine if we were like talking about like like interior design or something,
Yeah.
and we were like a podcast
Yeah.
about like interior design.
We're like organizing, and then we just got dead silent. We're like,
just rip it.
we're gonna take a short break. Mike's back. Give him a quick call.
Hilarious. Oh, that's so funny.
That's great. Yeah.
How long have you been in LA now?
In LA, I've been here. I moved here August of 2016. It's like 3 years now.
Okay.
Just about 3 years. And how many
Me?
millennium have you been here?
This is crazy. I am like a couple days away from half of my life, so 18 years.
Oh wow!
So like I moved here when I was 18, and
I didn't know 18 times 2 was
yeah
111.
But I am I moved on September 1st, and so we're
Oh, wow.
really close to that, which is wild because there's a whole different like kind of perspective that I think that I have on that.
Acting
And-
for 18 years. Or
Yeah.
you longer than that, but you moved out here 18
yeah,
years ago.
But I've been acting since I was a kid, like 5 or 6.
What was the first? I mean, you've been acting your whole life. What was the first thing that you watched that you were like, "This is, I want to do this because
Jurassic
of
Park.
this"? Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
Who was it? Just the movie, or who specifically?
I think it was just Jurassic Park.
The whole
I think
thing?
it was just like I could do that. Like we
Mhm.
could, I could play with dinosaurs. Like
Yeah.
I think I was just old enough and young enough to be like scared still by the movie. Like it
Mhm.
had like intense moments, but it was all funny, and then it looked so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, and you know that some of those were like realistic things. So that
Mhm.
definitely was for me when I was like, I could do that.
Yeah.
Also the movie Hook.
Hook.
Yeah.
I love that movie.
Oof.
So good.
It stands the test of time too.
It does. So does
Yeah.
Jurassic
Holds
Park.
up.
So
Yeah.
does Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
But Hook definitely, because Hook was like practical. They built like these crazy sets and all this stuff and everything
Yeah.
like that. It's weird though, because I'm from San Diego. People always just assumed like I came to LA all the time or something. Like I had been to LA like once in
Right.
my whole life, but
Yeah.
because people in San Diego fucking hate LA.
Really?
Oh, good God. I mean, I think a
Why?
lot of people don't, and I think a lot of it stems from just like sort of general just jealousy of the fact that everybody moves to LA and it's like nice here and like
Yeah.
the weather's good and people are chasing their dreams and
Right.
shit, But San Diego people fucking hate it. Like everybody hates it. They just like everything they can do to stay away from it. they
Is
will
it
do.
kind of the asshole older brother type thing? Like it's like, oh, they're the
Yeah, I just think they have. A lot of people have a really false idea of what LA is. They just think
Yeah.
they just think it's fake and like models and like just
And easy.
and just like like everyone's just like so like laid back all the time and it's just like,
Yeah.
easy and everyone's just like fake and pretentious. It's fake and pretentious fucking anywhere.
Yeah.
Like that anywhere. There's people living outside of their means everywhere you go.
right.
There's just those certain areas. LA is actually, I think, one of the coolest places in the world. There's just like everything's here.
Mhm.
We can do anything we want to do at like any moment that we want to
Yep.
do it. You know?
Yeah.
Like, we're all gonna go do shows later. Like that's
Yeah,
crazy.
that's
At
the
different
coolest shit.
places. Like
Yeah.
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And do the same thing at different places. Whereas there's like a lot of
Yeah.
towns that don't have like one live thing happening ever a night.
No, I was listening to another podcast today with like a bunch of comedians, and it's so interesting hearing like there's clubs that are like in malls, and people will go not knowing that there's a comedy show going on. They just walk by and they're like, "There's literally nothing to do. Let's go and do this thing."
Right.
And I'm like, "Whoa,
Right.
that's."
Yeah.
And whereas here, it's like there's so much to do
Yeah.
that in itself can be overwhelming.
That's the battle I think we struggle with probably as like live artists, comedians, anything is just the unbelievable amount of other things that there is to do.
Right.
Trying to get someone to come see your set especially if you're doing like 5 or 10. If you're doing like 5 or 10 minutes and it's and your friends have seen you already 20 times, even if you're like, I'm doing a whole new 5 or 10 minutes, they're like, yeah, I've seen you 20 times, bro.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like
My wife won't even come unless it's like a big deal.
Right.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean?
I can't even tell you last time my wife came to one of my shows.
And I don't want her to. I would never expect her
No, I
to.
don't.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm sorry, I won't be. I go,
You're like,
I didn't
no, you're
even think you were gonna fucking
It's at the
come.
point now. It's like I didn't know you were doing that show. You're like, I didn't tell you because it was wasting oxygen telling you you're not gonna come.
Yeah.
How long have you been married?
7 years.
Okay,
Oh,
I've
wow.
been married for 8, so
Oh, yeah.
about the same. I'm close to the same. Yeah.
Cool,
That's
wow.
fine. Where did you guys get married? You're not old enough to get married.
Okay, well,
Where did you get married?
Okay, man.
all right.
Seattle, where I'm from.
Yeah. Do you
Yeah.
want to get married one day?
Huh? I do want to get married one day.
Yeah.
Yeah, and the great thing about me, unlike you, I have a lot of time left. And I think, it's so, I love, what I'm trying to say is fuck you. And I am better than you.
Yeah, that's great. I think that's part of the thing that happens, like for me when I first, because we only kind of hit on it. A bunch of people messaged me after the podcast and were like, "Congrats! I had no idea you were having a kid."
Yeah.
Because we talked about it so briefly, like on the thing,
Mhm.
and I went, "That's right. I don't talk about it. Like I don't
No.
post about it. I'm just not one of those people." Because it did freak the shit out of me.
Yeah, you made a person.
Yeah, and it freaked the shit out of me. Today we had to go to the hospital to do like it's almost like a practice run or something like that. I don't know how.
What?
We haven't done shit. Like we haven't done anything. Like some people like take classes and like have a plan. And I'm like,
Yeah.
fuck all that shit. Like we'll just.
You're like,
tell
I'll
me
help
where to go.
catch it when it
Yeah,
goes.
just tell me what I'm supposed to do when I'm there, and I'll figure it out. You know what I mean? Like you guys are all like paid way more money than me to do this, so you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
We go to I like I said, I'm like the worst at these places. Like I can't. It's so quiet.
Yeah.
And we're there, and it's like quiet, and then like we're sitting, and it's just like these long, creepy, long hallways.
Yeah.
And there's nothing happening, and I'm just sitting in the room, and so the nurse leaves, and so I just immediately start grabbing things, and I grab like these gloves, and I put them on, and I'm like, I'm a doctor. And my wife is like, can you please be mature? And then all of a sudden, this like song starts playing. This like doon 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 doon, and I was like, what the fuck is that? And the nurse comes in and I go, why is that playing? And she's like, oh, we play that when a baby's born. And I was like, through the whole hospital? And she's like, yep. And I was like, I feel like that's very unsettling.
I feel like don't ever do that.
At 2 a.m, I'm wandering these halls, like a quiet, weird, creepy hospital thing, and then all of a sudden it's like doom, 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 doom. It's
That's creepy, dude.
It's super creepy.
Yeah, it's like the flickering fluorescent light.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a creaky janitor.
Yeah, exactly.
Was that like a
an old lady in a
Yeah.
wheelchair?
Yeah.
Was that a
It's a horror
request that
movie.
they had? They're like, oh man, I wish there was fanfare when I had my baby for
Yeah.
some selfish asshole.
Can we have something?
We thought my wife made the joke. She's like, "Can we request a different song?"
Yeah.
Is there a
She's
cue
like-
that we can
she's like,
skip?
let me see your booty swing.
I am. So first off, you talked about it a little bit. The way you're dressed is obnoxious, and every time I've ever seen you, I get more and more mad about what you're wearing. You wear a lot of jewelry.
I do.
And that's, I mean, everybody knows, they can
Mhm.
see. They have to turn their brightness down because of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I tell you all the time that you have so much jewelry on that if I push you out of a plane anywhere in the world, you'd have enough money to get home because that's how much jewelry you have. What's the ideal outfit that you're gonna wear on the day that your child is born? The
So-
first thing that this human being is going to see you in.
So I did just buy this ridiculous shirt, and I
Oh.
want to wear it so bad, but there's no way. I've already told my wife, I was like, I think I'm gonna wear this.
Yeah.
And she was like, "You're definitely not wearing that." And
Mhm.
it's just like this button up, but it's like leopard, and it's got like Navajo print on it, and it's
Yeah.
it's the loudest thing I've ever seen in my life. And she goes, "You're definitely 100% not wearing that."
Yeah.
So at this point, I have no idea because she packed a bag. Apparently,
Mhm.
you're supposed to have like a ready to go bag, and she
Mhm.
packed it with stuff that is acceptable to her
For you to wear.
for me to
So
wear.
no matter what you go in, she's like, don't even look. Change
Change
first.
Yeah, you have to change before we leave.
before we leave.
you
You
are-
are changing.
You are changing. The weird thing is they say like, she goes, so how will I know when the water breaks? And they gave the most vague, ridiculous answer. It was like, you might not, but you could. Some people have it and don't know it happens, but then sometimes it's all over the place, but then sometimes it's slow, but it could be messy, but it could be nothing. I was like, what the fuck
Okay.
was
What?
that?
Yeah.
So you're just
You
saying,
said nothing.
You said
yeah.
nothing. I was like, even my wife was like, okay. And she was like, 30% sometimes say they feel it, and then the other 30 don't, but sometimes other 30s do. And I was like, what the fuck?
what? You just stole air from someone. My mom's
Strangest answer.
I was talking with my mom about it today because we just got dinner before this, and we were talking about it, and because she works in a hospital, and she goes, because I said your baby's due like the
Could be like tomorrow.
yeah, like the 11th, and she's like,
September 11th is
and
actually when she's due.
which is
No
wild.
way.
Yeah,
Crazy.
it's weird. You know, I thought about
Be
this. 'cause-
hilarious if you ever forgot her birthday.
Right. Well, my dad's is on September 11th.
America will never
Never
forget.
forget.
No,
But-
but it's also weird because I think that like there are by the time she's 10, no 10-year-old's gonna give a shit
Yeah.
that happened. In the same exact way that you know what I mean. Like some people are born on like D-Day.
Right.
I don't know when that like was. It's
Yeah.
not that to disrespect that idea,
It's
but
just the day's now my birthday.
that is now just my birthday. Like
Yeah.
my dad hates that his birthday's on September 11th. One of my best friends is also on September 11th. They hate it because everybody remembers their birthday
Wow.
because they get all these. Then they know that people remember it because it's this same day.
Yeah.
But I think at some point, you know, when kids that are going to be born now, and 20 years from now, it's definitely not going to have the same impact on them anymore. You were really young,
Huh?
when it happened.
I am still.
Yeah, but you
I'm
were
11.
very young when it happened.
I was born in '98, so I was
Holy moly! So you were like 3?
3, 4, yeah.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I had just moved here. I had lived here for 9 days, and I was like my
Wow.
second day of school of college, and I was like, I was at the acting school, and I thought, I was like, I remember waking up in the morning, and there was like somebody came running in, my roommate came running in, and she was like, the world's ending, people are killing us, and I was like, what the fuck? And I turned on the TV, and then it was crazy to watch. And I
They
was like,
had
do you go?
They had TVs. Your messenger pigeon just came in frazzled, and he's like, "I have got to tell you some shit going down today."
Yeah, and I was like, send it back.
Yeah. Post haste.
Oh, that reminds me.
So I was like, do I go to school? And then I was like, not to be morbid here, but like they're probably not going to attack the American Academy of Dramatic Arts.
Right.
Yeah.
I think that one's probably okay. I feel like
Yeah.
that one's okay. And then I went there and like 80% of people didn't go that day. And all we
Yeah.
did was sit around and talk about it because it was crazy. It was a
Yeah.
really weird experience for sure. But I think that as kids get older now, this kind of crazy shit just keeps happening. Like, you know, these crazy mass shootings and all this crazy shit keeps happening.
Yeah.
Weirder people are saying weirder things that it's starting to become somewhat kind of numb.
Yeah, because it seems like now the way to get attention is bad attention.
Right.
The only thing you ever see on social media, you know, you'll see a good fun video every now and then, and you know, people share memes and all that stuff. But
Right.
the thing that what do people love to do the most on Twitter? They love finding out dirt and shit about other people
Right.
and putting them on blast. And it's the same thing I feel in the news. It's just everybody's getting put on blast. So I feel like it's twisted in some people's minds where they go, well, the best way that I'm going to be heard is to say dumb, awful shit or do dumb, awful shit. And first, somehow that's morphed into this is the kind of attention that needs to get out there. And now it's just bananas wild.
Yeah.
I was on my phone earlier this morning and I was like, man, if I stopped going on the internet, I feel like my life would be so much better. And that's the tough thing I think about like this generation, but also, you know, living.
Look what we're trying to do. We're
Yeah.
trying to get people to come on here and watch us and see this and listen to what we're doing. We want them to do that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, there is it's wacky.
Yeah.
There's a wackiness.
You have so much information at your that it's overwhelming, especially living in LA, because all you talk about is you have to be aware about what's going on, and everything that is going on you see all over the place. It's easier, I feel, in other places to where you can just you don't hear about it. It doesn't affect you.
Right.
But especially being an actor in LA as well, you have to know what's going on because you're in a business that's always changing. I mean, I'm very new to this, but I mean, you constantly have to be aware of how things, you know, how the world is perceived because you're playing everybody.
Right.
You said a very interesting thing the first time I met you. You said, you know, most people go do their job and they just have to be that thing, but as an actor, you have to be everyone's job,
Right.
and you have to be believable
Right.
at everyone's job.
Which is where I think actors in particular, and I think actors, comics, like that kind of people, they fall in the same kind of twisted category of like, we have to not deal with offended. Hence one of the
Right.
reasons why I was so excited to do this show in the first
Right.
place was we have to somehow take offensive and just realize that it's a lazy way to go through this.
Mhm.
You can just do something else. If you don't like it, change the channel. Do something else with your life.
Right.
But actors in particular can't save room for that because we have to be interested in the twisted and interested in the crazy and interested in the morbid and interested in the fucking gross and disgusting.
Mhm.
I tell this interesting story because it happened when I was doing the show. I was doing Goliath with Billy Bob Thornton.
Mhm.
And it goes into this gross story because I played this mortician, and I had a scene with him, and I was really excited to do this scene with him because he's like an Academy Award-winning actor. It was just me and him, and I get to set, and I was like really excited, and so I'm picking his brain, and we're talking. He's really cool, and then all of a sudden they're like, "Hey, Adam, this is so and so. He's a mortician. We just want to let you know that he's here to kind of make sure that everything's going right. And if you have any questions," and I was like, "Excuse me, I have a lot of
I
questions."
have all of them for
I
you.
was immediately like, "Why do you do this?"
Yeah, yeah.
And he was like, "Well, I'm kind of a lonely guy." And I was like, "Great.
Mhm.
What's next?" I was like, "What's
Yeah.
the weirdest thing you've ever seen?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "Well, I once saw a body that had been in a freezer for 27 days. And I was like, "And what did it look like?" And he was like, "It had mushrooms on its face." And I said, "What color were they?" And he was like, "They're green." And I was like, "Wow." And I was like, then he told me this crazy thing.
Did you get high?
I know. I was like, "Did
Yeah,
you eat them? Like, what did you do?"
What
He
was
said
the
he
effects?
was like he used to live on a cemetery for like his like master's program in this thing.
Whoa.
He had to like live at a cemetery, and he like would stay there through the nights, and he'd live there. And I was like, "Ooh,
Holy shit.
super weird." I didn't know this. This is crazy. That you can die and be buried, and then like your loved one could be like moved to Texas and be like, "You're coming with me," and they'll like dig you up and move your ass to Texas, which I think is super weird.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's strange.
I think that's like, I thought it was done. Like, I was like,
Yeah.
you should be done. There should be no more moving. And,
Yeah.
and that the idea though of when he gave me all that stuff, I was like, this is interesting. This is interesting. This is weird. This is gross. I like all this
Yeah.
stuff. We can't save room for being offended.
No.
I just think it's so lazy, and I think it's so easy for people to be offended. And can we just separate ourselves from that?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can you go, this is maybe just not for me, as opposed to, because it's not for me, it is now not for everybody.
Yeah. And to assume, and so it grows this thick skin. You have to have that to be here. That's just like non-negotiable to
Yeah.
do this. As long as you want to do this and be an actor or be a comic or be a musician, and you seriously want to do this and you want to be here for 18 years doing this,
Mm-hmm.
you have to have thick skin, not just to like hear bullshit,
Mm-hmm.
but just to be able to not be offended and be able to roll with the next thing and hear the next person's thing.
Yeah.
We see this. I mean, have you guys in the last like year or two toned back anything that you've done being a comic because of fear for being offended?
Yeah. I've had material that I've written that I've kind of been, that I've wanted to do, but I've kind of been like, I think it'll push the envelope too much, or it's one, I always think I don't know enough about the thing to talk about it. So I just seem like I don't want to push the envelope just to push the envelope. Mostly if I have material that I think is funny, I'm going to say it regardless because I don't care
Right.
at all.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, that's really, yeah, I don't normally really on stage
Yeah, your
talk
stuff isn't super push that side
It's
yet.
not because just most of it is because the stuff that makes me laugh and the
Right.
stuff I like doing on stage is just weird, like kind of out of the box,
Right.
like stuff. So there's messed up stuff really makes me laugh, and I like it. But I
From
have
the right person. If it's coming off of the right person,
Yeah.
I think it can
Right.
be very funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to be able to. I mean, I feel like it's more of an East Coast thing to be the type of comic that is purposefully tackling subjects that are going to offend, and then to try to make that funny.
Right.
Because it might be the hardest thing to do.
Right.
And so there's a masochistic thing with like, all going back to even the Dave Attell style of being a comic. Like,
Right.
you're gonna come at them. You're gonna say the most fucked up shit you can and try to make that work.
Right.
Like that's like Bill Burr does that.
Yeah.
He says something completely undefendable and then
And
defends
goes-
it.
yeah, yeah, totally.
It makes it amazing, and everybody's even more impressed and excited because
Chappelle does it too.
Yeah.
a lot.
And so that's even a style in a way that
Right.
that is like that's not even really my style necessarily.
Right.
Like I do like to say offensive shit, but it more is like kind of a mischievous. It's just because you can't.
Right.
But what I really like working on, it's not even that bad usually. Like I have one where I say a buddy. It's a small joke, so it'll go quick. But my buddy, I'm married, and by buddies who hate marriage, but I have a buddy who hates it but has dumb reasons. Like he said one time, there's 7 billion people in the world. How could I possibly pick just one? But I'm like, all right, well, first of all, unless you're a bisexual pedophile, there's not 7 billion people to pick from.
Yeah.
So like even just saying those two
Yeah.
words
Yeah.
in certain crowds,
People are
they
like,
just hear those two words and they don't
Totally.
laugh.
We have a song called Poseidon, and it's about going on a date with and this wonderful relationship, and it's from my perspective of going on the date, and then she has this little hand, and it's all messed up, and we talk about how mangled up it is and everything like that. It was one of our earlier songs. So when we first were doing it 5 years ago, I mean, we would close every show with it. It would murder the room. People were like crying and stuff like that. We don't play it as much because in the last couple of years, it definitely, we still play it, but you can feel it in the room sometimes.
Yeah.
Where you're like, this room's a little tighter and this room's a little more buttoned up, and that song makes people uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Even though it's like obviously fake, but it doesn't have to be.
Right.
It's a real thing that does happen to
Yeah.
people. So it's been there's a level of trying to figure that balance out.
I think the tough thing right now is most people aren't actually offended. They're just afraid other people are, and so then
Exactly.
they get offended. And so
Exactly.
then there's assholes who are getting offended for other people on purpose.
Right.
But then I think a lot of people aren't offended for other people or anything.
Sure.
They just are a little worried somebody's offended.
Somebody's offended.
And that makes them feel
it's FOMO. They're afraid that they're going to go against the grain and they're going to be left behind.
Sure.
I just
or
hate
just like an outlier and put in a box that, oh, you laugh at that, now you're in trouble.
right.
I think a lot of people, I think most people, average person, they're not as offended as people all seem.
Right.
They're
No.
just,
it's so much easier to just go along with what everybody's saying as opposed to there's like some quote, I can't remember what it is, but like there's no growth in comfort. It all comes from discomfort. Even if something like there are I don't get offended by anything.
I don't either.
At all. There's nothing that anybody could say, or really like anything I've seen that I've been like, no way. But I understand for some people that have had different experiences, they could. I also think that, it at times like that, if something like that does come up, you could say, that's not for me. I don't have to say anything about it, as opposed to I'm gonna launch into this whole thing and make it everybody else's problem.
Right. To go on, we were. I'll go into this because we decided we were not sure about the subject we were going to do.
Oh yeah.
You brought up this video. You're like, I can't wait to show you this video, and I was, and it something about the way you were saying it. I was like, what is the video about?
Yeah.
Because one of the things that reason for us doing this is we want to show people things that we think are funny, but we're also not the kind of people generally that just make fun of people. I'm not into that. Like, I'm not just that kind of person.
No.
I'm not, we talked about the idea of like, if we saw like a video where like a fat person was like falling down the stairs, like, would we use that as a video? And I'm like,
No.
Is it funny? I guess in some aspects I might find it funny in certain aspects in time, but I'm not into being like, look at that fat ass and show the world.
Yeah,
how
we're
fat
not
that
we're not laughing at other people's expense. We're
No.
laughing at just goofy stuff.
Goofy.
it looks silly.
It looks
Yeah.
silly, but you brought this thing of this guy because I was like, I certainly don't want to get into any place because I don't want to get into a place where we're making fun of someone with like special needs or anything.
Yeah.
Hence, even though our song has that to do, but our song is a made up scenario. It's a
Right.
made up situation. We have that reindeer song where we talk about a reindeer who's all mangled up, and people are like, "You can't sing that." I was like, "It's literally made up.
Yeah.
The whole thing is
You have a
cartoon."
song about kicking your ex down the stairs. Nobody's gonna listen to that song and go,
Yes.
"That's the battle plan."
Right,
That's how
exactly.
things are happening now.
Exactly. So this video you brought up was this guy who has some kind of bone.
Yeah, he's
disease.
bound to like a chair.
And you showed me this crazy video of him doing this like ratatouille thing.
Yeah,
You're like, he's very self-aware of what he does. He's actually quite funny, and
Yeah.
he goes and he makes people uncomfortable. He goes into stores. He has like 2 million people that follow him on subscribers.
He painted himself like a mouse and was like eating cheese as like a mouse, like crawling on the ground, and people could watch. He's the one.
Yes.
He's like, it's two things. You know, he really looked. He's like, I could be down in the dumps about this,
Right.
or I could make my own situation better and just realize that this is how I am, and this is how I'm gonna make people. It makes people less uncomfortable too.
Yeah, because he's addressing it and he's getting out front of it, but he's also then being like, I'm funny,
Yeah.
and this is funny, and I'm just gonna do it and go for it. And I was like, that guy kind of rules.
It's also empowering.
Yeah,
That guy has power, all the power now.
Yeah.
You can't hurt him. I already got it.
I already
It's
got it.
8 Mile, man.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
you know what
It's
I
very
mean?
much like I like say what you want. Like I love who I am, and
Yeah.
that shit's the best. Like he's obviously having so much fun doing
Totally.
that
And
I'm
he's
like,
making
dude, you're the
money.
fucking shit.
he's making money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's making money from
Yeah.
this, which is
Yeah.
awesome. And so it's like that's not the kind of videos that you sent me that Ratatouille one, and I was like, what is happening?
yeah.
At first, and then I went, oh, this guy's way aware of what's happening.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's doing this because he's doing this.
It's not a video somebody made of him, which would be shitty.
Right.
It's a video he made.
Exactly.
And he was
There's
like,
big
fuck
difference. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty funny. People said that the podcast was very honest. They were like, it was nice to hear people watch weird, twisted videos and talk about it.
Yeah, there was
The homunculus really changed a lot of people's life.
yeah. I people get
You'll-
people got upset about it.
The recap of it is there's a egg and a chicken egg, and a man cuts a hole in it and then injects his own semen into the egg and then lets it sit in like a tight sealed container, and like puts it in a wrap, like a clothing or whatever, and then pulls it out 10 days later, and there's like a living, moving organism in there when he opens it up, and he smashes it, and there's like blood and everything like that.
Yeah.
Hold on. So,
yeah.
It's a lot to unpack. For
well,
sure.
he cracked the egg open,
Yeah,
and
after-
it's like half
And
open.
it looks like a
and there's-
face hugger
No, it's
from
like there's
Alien.
like sauce, and then there's like a little moving
Don't
thing.
you
No, but I mean before.
don't
so,
say sauce.
So
Yeah.
but
Unsafe words.
Cream.
before he kept the egg whole
Yes.
and then just
He-
did a
he, like,
needle
little
size
crack, and then he taped a little Band-Aid on top of it after.
Oh, so it's still a whole egg,
Still a
and
whole
it can
egg.
incubate
Yeah.
there.
It was
and then
disgusting.
it like moves. He pulls it up, and then he smashes it. And it like so many people. Were
I
like,
love
what? Exactly.
I love it.
I was like, what is
yeah.
this?
And if
Mike
you're like,
was like,
Yeah, we were like, what do you have to say? Because this is
Mike
Yeah.
was like, I don't even know.
well, it's like I wonder. It's very provocative because then it's like a. I mean, and I don't even like this issue, but if you did care, it's pro-life, pro-choice. It's like, why are you bothered by that then?
It's very weird.
'Cause-
It was really weird
know what I
idea,
mean?
yeah. And it's on YouTube.
That's awesome.
Speaking of last episode, we talked about the I'm so full thing.
Yeah.
I was at dinner with my family.
Yeah.
My dad ate so much food, and he goes, I'm so full. And I looked at him. I was like, that doesn't mean the same thing to you as it does to me. And then he looked at me because he watched the episode, and he was like, oh, shit. I was like, yeah, man. Makes it sound like you're full of semen. So speaking of like, you know, we got a lot of feedback. We talked about like search history and what people like to watch, and I posted a question on Twitter.
Yeah.
You know, what are people's guilty searches? And there was a lot of fun ones. My favorite one was from a friend of ours, and he said people channeling aliens.
Okay. That's
Who
who
This is Dance.
Oh, Dance
This
is
is Dance. I
crazy.
told you because I was looking through. I was like, these are kind of cool. These are fun. Like some of them, I was like, okay, a lot of people watch those. And then he goes, people channeling aliens, and I was like, what does channeling aliens mean?
So are we gonna do it?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, let's
do you
do
mind
this.
going on YouTube and just typing in people channeling aliens?
And-
I didn't look at any.
Oh, you haven't seen one?
No, I wanted it to be.
Oh, new.
I wanted us to pop this cherry together.
Oh, I wish we had which one was the best.
I didn't watch any. I mean, we could probably just like guess and see which one. We got a couple videos.
Okay, great. That's exciting. It's really exciting.
Yeah.
People channeling aliens.
Yeah,
Yeah.
people channeling aliens. While you're looking this up, the word that you saw on the thing that I want to talk about, we're talking about unsafe words. How do you, I brought up the word bussy. You don't know what that word means, and it's going to be your favorite word. I heard it a while ago, and I've gotten my family to say it. Bussy is it means butt pussy. It means your butthole, and I've heard it used. I've heard a lot of my gay friends use it, and they're like, "Yeah, my bussy," and I'm like, Whoa. And it's
Whoa.
the best word I've ever heard.
Yeah, that
I've
is
said it
great.
around the house with my family.
Because
I've
it's
gotten
like
them to say
it's
it.
not a
Because
it's not a bad word, but it's like totally a bad word. It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a butt
Is
pussy.
this one?
If people chant.
How long are these?
Oh, this is 15
No,
minutes.
we don't
I don't
want
know.
that.
We don't.
Let's just
Oh.
do something like Let's
I
just
think it's a compilation.
It's a compilation. That's
Great,
wild.
great.
We could watch a little bit of
just
this.
click
For
on
you
it.
guys to be able to hear, you might want to like take
Yeah,
your
yeah,
ear off,
great.
'cause it'll be coming out of this.
Oh,
Great.
I
But
feel
they
like.
can hear it.
Oh,
Really
sweet.
well.
Blue Rose Ministry, led by the Reverend Robert Short. He said for $50 he'd channel an ET for me.
So there's some.
I will be
just for
getting in
these that
touch
are
with
just gonna
my
watch this
contact or
as
my
well.
Oh,
source.
so it's almost like an
whose name-
exorcism,
or
or
let's
like
say
he's
whose
contacting
identity
spirits.
Is
This guy looks like
Cortland.
a very old Elvis. Oh wow.
It's hard to go to the toilet.
This is Central Control.
No, he didn't. This is
Central Control. Stand
You know what he looks like? Real
by.
talk. He looks like
This is the voice of Instruct Relay Automatic.
Gary Oldman in Bram
And
Stoker's
for the
Dracula.
planet you of the earth called
He goes to the store and people ask him how his day is, and then he has to be like,
I
did
channel aliens.
channel
This
some
is
aliens."
crazy.
That's pretty fun.
Wait, keep going a little bit more.
Jupiter. On behalf of the Honorable Court and Representative, we are ready to begin with that information which we have for these individuals in this time period.
Am I going to experience any travel problems,
course
any
he's- of
mishaps
course he's
on the
British.
road or in the air?
There may be some problems having to do with
sitting-
weather.
He's sitting in like the weirdest living room
Discontinue.
in like what, like New Mexico or something.
Discontinue.
What's he? Oh my god, it scared me.
He seemed to be pretty together, didn't he?
I'm saying.
No, what?
This guy knows more about what's going on than I do. I can tell you that.
What?
Well, thanks so
That
much
is
for
actually
the
great.
short-
Thank you, Dance.
Yeah, thank you, Dance. That's I want to watch.
We're
a lot
definitely
of
gonna
those.
get more into that, and then probably show another one
How
of
are
those.
we?
when
How are we doing on time?
when we
My
kinda go
phone. I
back.
checked.
You guys got 25 left?
25. Dope.
Great.
We got plenty of things. That was crazy. What makes me laugh about that is so many people go there and they're like, "This is the truth. This is
Yeah.
real," and they believe
And
that.
they go there, and
That's
they
bananas.
they
His
buy
voice
into-
isn't even very
Oh,
convincing.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. I was going to ask you this. So if you became rich and
Mhm.
famous,
Right.
not even famous, just rich,
Uh-huh.
okay, and you got kind of a stupid amount of money,
Right.
what do you think is like something like kind of unnecessary that you would totally do often or buy?
Or buy? I have a couple things. First, I would go on a spree to make sure that every ostrich and emu was extinct by my hand because they don't.
That's a real thing.
That's a real thing. Also, I mean, I just hate birds.
I don't think you'd be able to do that.
I don't think so. But more realistically, I've thought about this for a while.
You'd have to have like all of the money to do that.
Right? Yeah, but it'd be my crusade.
Yeah.
I'd do it. I'd get rid of them all. I want to get a backyard with very tall grass, and I want to buy like 750 chihuahuas or like
And-
dachshunds, and they live in my house but in the backyard, and so people come over and they just see the grass move and they don't know what it is. And I have a bell and I'm like, dinner time, and I shake it and they're like, and they just, it's like velociraptors, they're like, what the fuck?
And they really.
And they're little puppies.
Wow.
Yeah.
That was not what I was expecting you to say.
No, you thought it was
What's
like
what's something stupid that you have spent money on?
something. Every time I go out to eat because I'm broke.
Yeah.
Something stupid I've spent a lot of money on.
Yeah.
Oh
That
gosh.
you're like, I shouldn't have done that. Like in high school, I bought a chain. I bought a cross, like a
And you kept doing
fake
that apparently.
diamond cross chain, and I went back. I bought it, and I had no. It was like $250. Like I had no
Jesus.
reason for I didn't have $250. Like so stupid. The second I got home, I was like, I gotta go back to the mall and put that and give that back because I can't do that.
Oh Jesus.
It was so stupid, but it is
Uh-huh.
the first thing I thought of when I was like, that was really stupid.
I've wanted to spend money on really nice shoes for a while now, but I feel like it's a dangerous road to go down. I mean,
Yeah.
you like nice shoes.
I definitely spend a lot of money on shoes. Stupid money. Yeah.
I
What
sp-
about you? Anything you do? Something first thing that was in mind that like you're like that was stupid.
Oh, that I've spent money on? I was going to answer the other question, which was what would I spend money
Yeah.
on if I had a lot of money?
Yeah.
And it would be shoes. It'd be Vans.
Really
I
just
would
buy
want to
them
have
all of them.
every pair of Vans I could ever find.
Yeah.
And they're all size 10 because that's the lock-in. That's the great thing about Vans. I could just I could buy them every day for
For the rest.
3 years.
Yeah, totally.
You know,
You have every color.
just
for
get
free.
every yeah. And then I don't know the dumbest thing I ever. Let me think about it for a
Yeah,
second.
yeah.
I can't think of the stupidest thing like that I've bought. I don't know. I buy a lot of dumb stuff that I never use that I'm like, I'm going to buy this and it's going to help me do that. And I never, ever use it. Like stuff for around the house. I'm never home.
Haven't lived long enough yet.
Yeah. No, yeah. I've been alive only a couple minutes. So I'm still figuring out everything and how it works.
Where would you want to go on like a
trip?
a vacation?
I've always wanted to go to Scotland. I'm going out of the country for the first time ever in like a week,
To
2
where?
weeks, to London.
Oh.
I'm going to London, England.
When I was just there in like Christmas time, and
I forgot you have money and
I
you book jobs.
and
In case anybody didn't know,
I had no idea.
Successful.
There's foxes everywhere. Like
Oh, cool.
in the
Yeah.
city.
the girls are very
in the city.
Shut up.
You're like,
Damn it, Noah.
You'll be like, that doesn't make any sense. Why is there a fox in the city?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, they're everywhere. And like, they're actually all over the place. And it's very unsettling, especially because they come out at night. And so it'll be like 1 a.m. and you'll be like, that's 3 foxes in the road. Am I going to go that way? Because
Yeah.
that feels wrong.
Yeah,
Very weird.
there's like ants. You're like, that's freaky. I saw this last night. I texted you this. We were hanging out.
Yeah, I
and
went out to go find it.
I left his apartment, and in front of your apartment building, there was a cat in the middle of giving birth. Like it was sitting there. It
Whoa.
was sitting there going like pushing out a thing, and I
Oh.
ran, and it ran off, and half the baby cat was still out its butt. I mean, obviously,
It's bussy. It's bussy.
Pussy. It had a pussy in its bussy. That's a new kid's book.
Yeah, wow.
Hey.
When you-
Hey, that's
you've gotta-
you told me that, and I went out outside to go try if I
Ran
could
away.
find it. I couldn't find
It sounded like I was lying because I was like, oh, it just ran away.
Yeah.
Oh, it's gone now.
It was there a
Oh.
second ago, but promise,
I saw the miracle, and you did it.
and you didn't. I witnessed birth. Oh man, yeah, it was freaky. It was jarring to see that.
I speaking of things coming out of your body, I got to go last year to Montana,
Mm-hmm.
and it is a really beautiful place,
Mm-hmm.
but it's also like kind of like boring. And it can be very beautiful, but you can kind of get over it because you're like, okay, there's not a whole lot past just sitting here to do.
Right.
And my wife and I started. She didn't feel well,
Mm-hmm.
and she, like stomach issues or whatever. And so like we were trying to find just something to help with that situation. There's not a lot to do, and so we heard about this thing, and I was like, oh, I want to talk about this because this is a crazy thing. So there are these sugarless gummy bears, and we got a hold of them, and
Like they're contraband.
it was sugarless free Haribo gummy bears, and we got them, and everybody was like, we looked it up, and it's like a famous thing that like the reviews on this are so incredible that people are what people say about this.
About how good they are
How-
at making you poo.
Yes, how insane these things are. It says, one of them says, so these are the sugar-free ones in particular. This is a review. Be sure to also buy a tub of OxyClean with this to get the blood and diarrhea stains out of your underwear, clothes, furniture, pets, loved ones, and ceiling fans. Other one.
Ceiling fan.
I saw the product reviews and told some coworkers, so he bought a bag because who doesn't want to spend the workday on the toilet and get paid, right? Brought them in yesterday morning, and a bunch of guys immediately downed a handful each. Within a half an hour, they were in the bathroom. Best moment of the day was when one of them, who had been in the bathroom for half an hour by that point, texted one of the others, "If you think it's a fart, it's not."
If you think it's a fart,
Just so you know.
it's not. That's horrifying,
Dude.
Just a major laxative.
It's just this thing they call them hell bears. They're like, these hell bears ruined my butt.
I love the jump from clothes, furniture,
Yeah.
pets, loved ones, and then ceiling
Yeah.
fans is great. My old roommate. This reminds me. I remember one time we were drunk and we were in our room because we shared a room for a while. And I wrote this down on my phone because I'll never forget. It's an actual thing a human being sent to me. He like was feeling sick, but he was drunk too. And he turns to me and he goes, "If I stop talking and you smell shit, assume I'm dead." And then he went to sleep. And I was like, what? And it was the most horrifying thing. Dude, It's like it's random things that just make you poo, and
They
it's just a candy.
They're just to make it go to work.
Jeez.
It's the most insane thing. How many people will talk about these bears?
See you in hell,
those-
Haribo sugar-free gummy bears. This is a long one too.
I made it home, and what happened then was like something out of Dante's Inferno. My butt became an upside-down volcano. Best to stock up the toilet paper and the toilet bowl cleaner, because you will literally spray the bowl and the back of the seat. I mean,
Oh my
dude,
god,
it's like a crazy thing. It's a crazy thing. Anyway, this is funny.
fucking
I thought
hilarious.
that'd be a funny thing to talk about.
Yeah,
It's so weird, and people will now
Oh.
look up a bunch of those funny reviews on it.
yeah. Look up that one you just pulled up.
Yeah.
Known as like
Dude, they're
a
amazing.
Yeah,
a
they're-
book. Yeah, please, people, go look
so
those
long.
up. I love watching. Have you seen when people give laxatives to seagulls at the beach? They'll like cook food and they'll put laxatives in there, and then they'll feed it to seagulls, and then the beach has to be like shut down because they're flying over, shitting on everybody. It's a real thing that people have done. They did
Oh,
it on
man.
Jackass, I think, too.
That's hilarious.
Yeah, they'll make like ice cream and fill it with laxatives and give it to seagulls.
My second date with my wife was at the beach, and I brought her to the beach, and we were walking. I had, it's a beach. I had my shirt off, and I'm walking, and a seagull shit on me, and it landed only on my nipple. Like, my bare nipple was covered in poop, and I remember just being like, "What the fuck was it? Oh my god!" And then I'm like on the date, and I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome, right? That looks good, right? Hey, that's cool, right?
You think that's hot?
You want to go out with me now?"
You want to go on shitty nips? Adam shitty nips?
Oh man. Okay, so I think
You want to get into some videos?
I think it's time to get into this video.
All right. Do you want yours or do you want me to do mine first?
Let's go
Because
with
mine's a
yours
little
first.
quicker, and
Let's
I
go
feel
with
like
yours.
yours
Yeah.
are usually the conversation stoppers.
Yeah, let's go with that.
So mine I sent to you. It's called "I Feel Fantastic."
Okay, I can't wait. Is there any setup that we need or anything?
No,
No,
I can't really explain it.
just let
If
it
you want to
be.
just look at the picture real quick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, we'll go ahead and watch a little bit of this.
Oh my god.
I saw this at 2 in the morning. God, dude, imagine waking up in the middle of the night and that's in your fucking room. All in your
You're gonna have to tell people what it's on No, but for anybody.
Oh, for anybody listening, it's like this mannequin that's moving its hands, and it's like
And
it's very
someone's-
like stop motion freaky, and it's just this little
It's in a
voice singing,
living
"I
room.
feel fantastic." It's like big person
it's,
size.
It's very David Lynchy.
Yeah.
It's in a weird living room, and it looks like it's like
If you skip ahead a little bit, it does change. Like the more happens,
Idaho or something.
more happens.
How far ahead?
Right there.
Okay.
It's sitting down. It then has
in
a
a
costume
sweater.
change.
She's
and
in a
she's
sweater right now,
and
and
she has a
little-
very blank expression.
Little like
And she's a robot.
blonde
Did we make that
bob.
clear?
Yeah, she's a robot.
She is a
Some sort of
robot.
mannequin robot.
Yeah.
'Cause she's moving her mouth, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, she's.
And now she's in the full.
I hate it, dude.
Someone made this fucking video.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so unsettling.
I think I don't know if more happens. I honestly didn't get all the way through.
How many views does this thing have?
Oh, it's upside down. Oh, is it outside?
It takes it outside? No way. No, it's not outside.
What is that?
Okay, this is weird.
Yeah, there's
weird
no-
scene. This is the
How many
weirdest
views
thing.
does it have?
Yeah.
Oh, it's just it's the chorus coming in.
It's strange.
That was the bridge, and now we're back in the chorus.
I like it.
I do too. It's really strange. I have a weird doll in my living room, so I understand this. It
19
has
19 million views.
views.
I like it.
Oh,
Very like
oh
there's
my
a genre
goodness.
of I don't know life where it's like melancholy, surreal, dark, and people. Same reason I don't know. Maybe I'm connecting things that aren't connected, but it's like even reminds me of why people like Radiohead. Like
Yeah,
there's
it's very
something
strange.
melancholy was a great word for
Yeah.
it. Yeah,
Very
It's
and then
just-
David Lynch, the same thing. It just gives
Yeah.
you weird feelings that you're confused
really
by, but
strange.
also intrigued by.
The playlist that I found for this video is what I will use as my playlist for quite a few videos to come.
Okay, so now we're gonna go ahead and move on to my gem of the jukebox. And I'm amazed that this is allowed to be on YouTube. So I am starting with that preface because the whole thing was they have to be on YouTube.
Oh, wait,
so
no,
that
it's
we
not
can
this one. It's
play them again.
It's not this one?
No. That we were gonna talk
No,
about
we'll
that,
do
but
that later. We'll do this on
yeah.
a different day. This one I'm going to have you type in because Noah doesn't know this one, and neither do you, which is going to be really exciting. Again, I don't know how this is allowed to be on.
Every time you pull out your phone and you say you have something to show me, my hands get very clammy.
Yeah, yeah.
What do I type?
You're going to type in tuft of hair removal
No, dude.
Oh.
from, and then we'll see if this thing comes up. Then just type, we'll see what our options are, and then
Tuft? How do you spell tuft?
T-U-F-T?
TUFT.
Tuft.
Oh, no.
Okay, so wait a second. Let me
man.
see.
Oh, is this like a butthole thing?
So, yeah.
I don't want to see this.
Well, you don't have to watch, bro.
Is this a butthole thing?
Yeah, it's definitely
Hey,
that
man.
top one. It's definitely that top one.
Dude.
So here we go. So this is part of the deal, right?
I don't like it.
So this was crazy. I'm amazed that this is allowed to be on here. Okay. So
It's medical.
I was looking for like ingrown hair stuff. Yeah, I was looking for like a lot of like ingrown hair stuff to kind of gross you out.
Yeah,
'cause
man, I
think
hate
that's
this
part of the
shit.
deal. And I was blown away because you
it's
really see a
full
guy's
screen.
butthole in this one. I don't know how much longer it's gonna. I mean, it has 600,000 views, so it's kind of insane. But what happens? Because this is like a surgical procedure. What has
Okay.
to happen for this to like work for this guy? Because he's got so many ingrown butt hairs that like it's once it happened, I was like, oh shit, they do that. Wait till that happens. And we'll skip ahead to certain areas.
Okay,
But we'll just
cool.
get it started, and we'll kind of see what sort of how grainy and janky and gross this is.
Dude, I'm sweating.
Bunch of hair in a
Polonius sinus. That's is that the scientific name for butthole?
Maybe. Here we go. Opening up a dirty butt. There's a nice butthole for you. Getting in there. So he has this like cyst at the top.
I don't want to.
You don't have to. Nolan, it's already tapped out.
I'm good.
Nolan's out. You don't have to worry. I'll just tell you when it's time to skip ahead. Nolan is not into this one.
Oh,
So-
man.
I can't-
Noah
I
has
can't.
to. Noah has to stay. Hold on.
I
Noah
hate
has-
that I have to stay.
So he has like a cyst thing.
Yeah, I
there.
can see it, man.
Okay. So they're gonna start draining. You could skip ahead like maybe about halfway through.
Look at it.
Yeah, you could skip ahead.
have
About,
to
there you
look.
go, somewhere in that ballpark. Great.
Oh.
So now they're shooting it again. Go to about half mark for me. So they're gonna take out like a big chunk of his hair.
Let's get Mike in here.
So they back it up a little. So they've now connected it through his butt.
No.
Here we go. Here we go. Here, this is the part. This is what I want you to see, Noah. This is the moment. Here we go. Watch this. Holy shit! Look at this.
Okay.
Here it comes. Here it
No,
comes.
no, no, no,
Noah.
no, 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 no. Oh, okay, okay. All right. Here we are. I want to throw up.
So they end up
Yep.
doing a string, and they're like pulling strings through it. Anyway, we're good.
Okay.
That's what I needed. I needed
Okay.
that moment. You're good, Mike. I'm not Nolan. I mean, sorry.
Mike needs to be.
Yeah. Whew. Got you good. Got you good. Got you good on that.
Wow.
Everyone else
Congratulations, everybody. I'm
sweating.
lightheaded, dude. I'm sweating real hard. That was
It's like I can watch it. I just don't like watching it. It sticks with me. That's why I don't like watching that stuff.
Well,
yeah. It's allowed
I
because
think about it for a week.
Well,
I wanna.
Wait till you see that. Mark.
I like how merciless you are. Yeah, well,
Well,
fucking
You
shit
get a
happens.
choice.
don't produce a podcast. How about that?
That brings.
Ours is pretty fucked, man. No, the end of our show is always going to be pretty fucked up.
Yeah, that's usually last one ended pretty. Homunculus was pretty fucked up, dude. Honestly, this shit, I am liquid. That was so hard to watch. That end, I hated how you were like, Noah has to stay.
Noah
Noah
has
has to stay and watch this.
Nolan can tap out. Noah does not get
This
to tap.
this brings me to the thing I'm so excited about. That it's kind of like a challenge for
Yes.
our
This is how we're
viewers.
going to end.
So there is a video that we are in possession of.
Correct.
It's very gross. It's very messed up. It's not like an illegal
You won't
video.
find it on YouTube.
You won't find it on YouTube. It's disgusting. We can't show it on here, but it's our favorite video to show because it's the most jarring thing I've ever seen, you've ever shown me,
Yeah.
and our fun now is we love making other people watch it.
Correct.
And so I can promise you it will be the wildest thing you've ever seen.
Yes.
It's art almost.
Yes.
But what we want to do is if you want to see this video, just email unsafewordspodcast@gmail.com. And what we want you to do is to record yourself watching it for the first time.
Reaction videos.
Yes, and we will play your reaction on this. Now, we're never going to tell anybody what this video is.
No.
Some of our friends have seen it many times, and we've made people cry.
So film other people doing it and then get their reactions, and then we want to end every podcast with someone's
watching
reaction
it.
to this video.
Dude, that's great.
Yes.
This is great.
It's going to be a really funny way to end every show because it's really shocking. I will say this: if you're, the only thing I will tell you, it doesn't have anything to do with death. So
No,
like you don't
not
have to
at all.
worry about like that or anything
No.
like that. It's just really, otherwise it's very shocking.
What were those old awful websites? Some of those early 2000s.
Oh God, what am I?
Rotten?
Rotten, and then there was like
Rotten.com?
someone started with a G or something like that. But yes, where it was really
Was Rotten.com
Rotten-
one of them?
Yeah, Rotten.
I was
one of them, for
4.
sure.
I don't know.
Rotten
4
was
years old.
was where you saw like
Some
a
crazy-
guy get it beheaded.
Yeah, or like a
Oh.
penis severed off or something.
Yeah.
Or Reddit 50/50. Have you ever played that game?
No.
Reddit 50/50, there was this game, I don't know if it's still around, but it was on Reddit, and you get a link, and it would be either something really funny or cute or something really messed up or disgusting, and you would go on and you click the link and just pray.
Oh
and it
my
was
God.
like a kitten playing with another cat, or a beheading video, and you would just like hope it wasn't the second one.
Crazy people
I
out
used to
there.
play that a lot. But yeah, that's our challenge. Email unfunnywordspodcast@gmail.com. And we will send you the video.
And then one day Noah will actually have the podcast up that you can actually listen to.
You know what?
You said unfunny words. It's unsafe words, I would imagine.
Unsafe words.
Unsafe.
Thank you
words.
for plugging the studio.
Yeah.
Yeah,
The studio-
Unsafe Network.
the
Unfunny
Unfunny
Network
is where we do the podcast. Our podcast is called
Unsafe Words.
So they need to email us at
unsafewordspodcast
and we'll send you the
at
video.
gmail.com, and we
then-
will send you the video. And you will do not record the second time. I'm going to be very strict about this.
Yes.
Not the second fucking time you watch this.
You better put
The-
that camera on.
And hey,
You'll make
watch
No.
the whole thing. Watch the whole
You
thing.
got to see the whole thing.
You watch the whole video. No, you don't get to look away.
Okay.
It's going to start out like something else, and then when it changes, it's going to change very drastically.
Stick with us
Don't bussy out, okay? Don't bussy out of this video. All right?
on that.
On that,
All right, don't pussy out.
don't bussy out. You guys are awesome. This is episode 2.
Thanks so
A
much.
blast.